So I work with both businesses and individuals, right? So individuals that have skills and knowledge that they need to monetize. So I help them identify those marketable skills and get them turning those skills into profits. Now, I don't do this. How would I put it now? I don't do this. It's not magic. No, it's not magic. Now, what I do is leverage systems, streamline systems, sales funnels, email marketing, all of those great stuff. I leverage all of these things to be able to help them monetize their skills, their knowledge, just so that they're able to be the best version of themselves.
If you know what I do, you know that it is difficult for me not to be workaholic actually. But I really love it to a certain extent because I love what I'm doing. I'm not stressed doing what I'm doing because this is my thing. In fact, I will be stressed if I'm not doing this because I love it so much. I feel very happy doing it. And it is enjoyable for me because I'm doing it from home. I don't need to travel to a place to do it. I understand that we need balance, of course, which is what we are talking about today, for which we are talking about systemization and optimization and all of that. But honestly speaking, I love what I'm doing. If I'm optimizing it because I want to be able to do more and make better impact.
There are systems, there are all of these tech strategies that you can put in place to be able to help you smartly solve the problem. Now, I always like to say this: your systems, your softwares, your automation, all of these things are not meant to make you lazy. They're not meant to make us lazy. They are meant to ensure that we are giving our best. Hey everyone, my name is Teecee. I'm a systems implementation strategist. I work with individuals, business owners to monetize their skills, their God-given skills, knowledge, so they're able to live a life of purpose, turning literally it into profit. And we do this using streamlined systems, working sales funnels, strategies, and most importantly, automation. In that whole puzzle, right? We have how we get to attract the right audience, how we get to nurture these people, how we get to convert them into repeat paying customers, right? That's basically what I do. Also, I love to say this as well when I get to introduce myself. I am first a full-time mom, and also a full-time entrepreneur because I love both parties. And for me, that's basically what balances TC as an individual.
Casey, you said something that you are system strategist. I don't know what that means. Could you explain a bit about that? Because of course that is where we are going to be surrounding ourselves with today, talking about marketing, systemization, automation, like you also have mentioned. So please give us a kind of the breakdown of that.
Oh, okay. So basically, as a systems implementation for businesses, individuals who want to either turn their skills, their knowledge, what they have into profitable businesses, and also businesses who are looking to either growing and scaling what they currently have. It's really about bringing together the right strategy. Uh, I personally would say bringing together strategy, profitable roadmap, and also leverage the right manpower tools needed to create that vision of yours, bring it into fusion. Now, a system strategist is more most times I get questions like, oh, would you help me with my software? Or do you have a software? No, it's more than that. Okay. It's more or less the assemblage of all of these things, bringing them together to achieve a certain goal for you. So your goal can be, right now in my business, I want to scale. Right now in my business, I want to avoid chaos. I want to be able to see through. I want clarity. Now, that's basically what all of these things come together to help you achieve. And that's who I am. And that's what I bring to.
Would you like to let me know how you started with system optimization? I don't know if that is how you actually started your business or you got to that point at a time. Would you like to share with me on that?
I actually didn't start off as, no, or rather, I didn't start with that title, right? It was a progression. I started off, as an ex operations and project manager, because that was where I got to as a corporate employee, 9 to 5 corporate employee, right? And before I started off my business. Now, like I said, I didn't start with that. I literally started off my business for solely, digital marketing and sales, basically, because that was my core from my 9 to 5 as a professional. That was basically my core. Marketing and sales was my core. And then we create huge launches, marketing campaigns for businesses, for product launches and all of that. However, going into my business, and obviously my business now opened me up to working with other individuals, right, like myself, and also working with businesses. Now, I realized that there is something called um, mental stress. I realized that there's something called chaos. I realized that you can think that you have the right business, okay? You can think you have all the money, right? But you know that part where you have money, but your money can't even work for you. When you need your money to show up for you, your money is there staring at you in the face because you are yet to give your money legs and hands to work for you, right? And you find yourself in that space where you are doing everything, but you realize that maybe, for example, you make so much money, but at the end of the day, you realize that there is little or nothing you're taking home. And you're asking yourself, how come I earned over 200,000 within this month and all I can see in my bank account is maybe like 50,000? And you keep asking yourself 1,001 questions. You can't answer the questions because you're clueless as to why did this happen. So we talk about redundancy. We talk about, leaky operational procedures. You have loopholes in your operational activities. You have all of these inefficiencies, just name them when it comes down to either your customer experience or your total operational activities as a whole, even as an individual doing business. Now that's where systems come in, and that's how I accepted systems, because I got to a stage in my business that I needed to scale, right? I needed to do more. I needed to start to hire more people, collaborate with more people, because my business was getting to that space where it was telling me, "Teecee, you can't do it all by yourself." However, looking at what I had, I couldn't accommodate more. Looking at what I had, it was me working in my own delusion, right? So that was how I realized that no, I needed to create a system for my business. And the system for my business was basically to keep my mental health intact, right? Because I didn't want a scenario whereby I am working, I'm making money, but there's nothing to show. Remember, a top priority. I have a husband that is 24/7, needs my attention if possible, right? And, I have family. I have the things that make me happy. I wanted to stay happy while I also run my business. And so I saw the need for me to incorporate systems first for my business. Now, when I started to see the benefits of having a system in my business, because then I could see clearly what goes in and what comes out in my business. I was able to track and measure what I was doing right, what I wasn't doing right. I was able to see through all of my operations, right? And so I said to myself, okay, how about me building something that helps me efficiently also work with the children so that I can stay present in the life of the children, be the wife that I want to be, while also scaling in my business without feeling like I have to choose one. And so I had to then build a system around my kids, my family, and also my business. So that was literally how I started. Yeah, basically. So I started from me.
That is very good. This is a very good conversation. That now with the possibility of internet being able to connect, now it is also possible for us to design a kind of business that can help us to be close to our loved one and also able to do our businesses. Yeah, that is really very important because this is something that was not possible before. Because imagine if you were working in a company that needed to transfer you to a place, you really do not have any option. You need to literally transfer yourself to that place. But now, with the power of internet, people are building businesses so that all they just need is to take their computer and password with them. They move to another location. Their business is already set, so they can run it actually from there. Like you are going on a holiday, you are going on a holiday with your business if you want to. And maybe, for example, you want to sort of redraw your plan instead of maybe staying in the same location where you are. You moved from that place. You just take your computer or your laptop with you. You travel to another location and maybe spend 6 months there or 1 year there. You are not new to the software or the system or the operation because everything is already set up for you. So this
Mhm,
is sort of a huge advantage for
mhm.
us, unlike what we didn't have before.
That's literally the story of my life right now. Um, every time I say I want to go on a vacation, especially a solo vacation, my husband would say that it ends up being a vacation because at the end of the day, he's like, where are you going to with your laptop? I'm like, and he's like, I know what this is gonna be because every time you go out on your own, the only time you go outside of your hotel room is maybe when you want to go get something to eat. Because then I just realized that it's fun, and then I start to create content or I start to work, or because then you realize that the only thing that necessarily change is the location, but it's still business as usual, right? So I'm not saying do this, but I'm saying that there's some people that are just born workaholic, but I'm working on it right now. Because I think the last time I went on a solo vacation, I took my laptop. I'll be truthful to you all, right? Because I took my laptop because maybe I'm just used to, I don't feel complete if I don't. So I took my laptop, I took my phones. However, I made it a point of duty that wherever I was, from 3 o'clock, I'm like closing the laptop, I'm going outside. Like I'm going outside and not coming back inside until maybe later at night. And then I stroll in. Obviously, I'm very tired, and then the day is done, and I sleep, and then I wake up again. At least I've been able to stay away from my phone and away from my laptop. So no content creation, no anything. It's just the real vacation, right? So it's just me being intentional. However, sometimes you just get to do that maybe like a few times because rest of the time I remember, oh my gosh, this thing would be very good for content, and I want to video the place or I want to take a picture and all of that. So, but yeah, to your thoughts exactly. You're so right. These days there is no excuse for anyone to say, I can't have a business or I can't run a business. You can't have a business, you can't run a business. It's because you don't want to, not because you're not able.
I think people should take that up as a challenge. Yeah, everything really is possible for us today. Talking of this workaholic thing, I think it's something that many of us are guilty of, including me. Of course, if you know what I do, you know that it is difficult for me not to be workaholic actually. But I really love it to a certain extent because I love what I'm doing. I'm not stressed doing what I'm doing because this is my thing. In fact, I will be stressed if I'm not doing this because I love it so much. I feel very happy doing it. And it is enjoyable for me because I'm doing it from home. I don't need to travel to a place to do it. I understand that we need balance, of course, which is what we are talking about today, for which we are talking about systemization and optimization and all of that. But honestly speaking, I love what I'm doing. If I optimize it, because I want to be able to do more and make better impact. Because think, for example, I'm doing podcasting where I'm interviewing people from all over the world, different professors, academia, ordinary people, business people like you, and people that are doing research. This is something I don't want to delegate to anybody. Nobody can
Yeah,
become Obehi other than me. But of course, there are
yeah,
other parts of the business that I can delegate to people, which is why
yeah,
optimization will become important. But for
yeah.
the interview itself, I can stay here forever. I'm really very good in it. I love it. I really love it. I remember, for example, there was some time a couple of years ago, I was okay. I still write books now, but then I was really like sort of heavy on books on book writing. So I would just take my computer because the university is not far away from where I'm living, which is the University of Verona. I just take my laptop and I go even before I married because I was living alone. Okay, I could do a lot of work at home. I don't have any disturbance really. But when you change location sometimes, it sort of have a different effect in the kind of input that you can have. So I don't know, sort of do this. It's just few minutes, 5 minutes. Sometimes I'm at the university. I went to the library. I set up my computer there. I am fine. So everything just worked out perfectly fine for me. So I think it is important, of course, that we draw a line between, okay, let me say overworking and doing the bare minimum. We don't want to do either of them. That we don't want to overwork, and we don't also want to do the bare minimum because if you do the bare minimum, you're not going to get result because you're going to get
True.
average result because this thing needs a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly speaking, it needs a lot of work. I can't just deceive people by telling them, okay, yeah, you can do it, but just do 2 hours, then it will be okay. No, it is not going to be okay. It need the business, or maybe the work that we are doing in the creative economy, there is a lot of moving part in it. You need to do your email, you need to do your marketing, you need to do your content, you need to the content are different part of it. You need to do your photography right, you need to do your graphic right, you need to do your color right, you need to do your writing right, you need to communicate. There are a lot of things that are in it, which is actually why we need you. But before I get there, I just want you to spend a bit of time or the difference between this be workaholic and be doing bare minimum. Help me out with that.
Okay, so I was listening to what you're saying, and in my head, I was saying the results for an amazing job is more work. That's the truth. Sometimes social media gets you thinking that you get to a stage in your life where you just don't work. No, it is that surface thoughts. You get to a stage in your life where you start to concentrate on high level activities, high level work, right? Not typically saying you won't work. Because some people will be like, oh, I don't want to work again in my life. No, you want to focus because that's what makes us human, especially if you love what you do. It would come up naturally. It's no work, it is what you love to do. And that's why I will say to you that it's my desire, my passion to help individuals, that have amazing skills, that have knowledge, monetize their what's the name again, their skills and their knowledge, is because of this. Because the truth is, when you start to see that your passion is now turned into profits because of all of the things you put into place, like your systems, like your amazing marketing, like your this, like your that. You bring all of these things together and you make what you already have going on for you. Because if they don't even pay you, you're still doing it because you love to do it. Now you're being paid effortlessly, continuously, consistently for what you already love to do. So for me, I don't think it's work. So sometimes when people say, "Oh, you're working," I'm like, "Well, it depends on your definition of what work is. Because if I'm not doing this, I will feel like I'm like something is missing. I just need to, right?" So now to your question, what being a workaholic is, and putting in there minimum efforts in your business or whatever you're doing, I would say that A typical workaholic do not have a structure behind their activities. Now, that is why you can conveniently call them a workaholic, because they do not have, um, you know, structure. And I feel that's what makes, when you have you're a workaholic, but with a structure, that's what makes you a smart entrepreneur. That what makes you, a smart business owner, right? Because now you are a workaholic in quotes, right? But you have structure, you have the right systems, you know what to do, you know the buttons to press for you to be able to take that next action. Because you see, I always feel like the idle mind is devil's space, right? And so the more you exercise your mind to develop and design more creative work, the better you even get, the better you get at it, right? Now, some people would say, I don't want to be a workaholic, and so they decide to lower down their efforts. Now, let's be frank to ourselves. People would say, oh, no, you don't have to work too much. The question is, what are they doing telling you that? They're working as well. Because they're telling you don't work too much. Is they also working as well? So what are you saying? You want to, as much as possible, be systematic, strategic in the activities you put into your business, right? That is what makes you a smart business owner, a smart creative entrepreneur, a smart whatever you call yourself. Right now, if you're going to think that you're going to be a success because you put in like very little effort, I'm telling you, what you put in is what you get. Now, that's the truth. There's a big difference between working a lot and working smart. So that's why, personally, I would say, don't work a lot. Don't put bare minimum effort or whatever you want to look at it. Don't reduce the work that you put in. Instead, ensure that the work you put in is is highly intentional. Okay, the work you put in is high level intentional work, meaning you should know what you are able to do all by yourself, because there's always work. I don't know, but for me, I feel like there's always work. There's always something to do. If you feel like, oh, you've gotten to that high level space in your business, and so there's nowhere to go. No, that's not true. Because as a creative mind, there's always something to create. You know why? Because we are human beings. And from business school, you realize that the human nature, our needs are insatiable. Our wants, there's always a problem to solve. So when you see yourself as a problem solver, you realize that there's nothing called being a workaholic in quotes.
I love that. I so much love that. I love that because the conversation that is going to dominate the time as we are moving on, thanks also to the introduction of AI, is that we see now that we are able to do a lot of things. Okay, people don't yet know how to use AI, because some people have a very negative connotation around it. But the truth is, you cannot do without it at a point. Okay, if you even understand what AI means, it means that you have been using it all along anyway, just that, and maybe you have been knowing it for a different name. For example, I do podcasting. This episode that I'm recording now, I'm able to split the audio into two parts so that sometimes if my son just play around here and is talking, when I'm editing it, you will not hear my son talking, even though maybe literally you are hearing him talking, because I'm able to dissect it and remove my audio from your audio so that it is fine. What maybe, for example, in my audio too, because now there are two tracks, no? But what if it is the other track, which is mine? There are some rumor, there are some background noise in it. And what I just need to do is to click a button on my editing software. That noise have been identified. It will be eliminated immediately. How do you think this is functioning? This is functioning because there are some software that are installed inside a software that does this work. Those are AI. They are artificial intelligence that make our work easier. And of course, what all this is going to mean as we move on with if AI become more efficient is that we see that we're able to do a lot of things. Now,
Yeah.
think of what that could mean for us, for Africans, for example, or for African diaspora, who have often complained that we don't have enough content out there in terms of our history, our experiences, and all of that, which is true compared to maybe other people. It means we'll be able to create more content now. For example,
Yeah.
in the village where I'm coming from, there is no book that explains it. I'm not talking of just myself. In my village, there is no book on Amazon that talks about it. So somebody might say, well, there are so many books out there. No, it's not true.
Yeah.
There are too
Yeah.
few books out there. I think for my village, there should be like 3, 4, 5 books that you can pick from and say, oh, I prefer this one. No, I've read this one. I want to read that one too. I mean, now we are free to do what we like. So we can really, I think we are moving into the era where we should focus our attention on those things that really make us think. So we are going to do this every day. For me, I see that I'm going to do this every day because, except of course, maybe if I am sick. If I'm sick, I cannot work. But if I am healthy, okay, I sleep. I sleep. Sometimes I really decide to sleep for a lot of hours, no? Because I need time to be able to recuperate. But other than that, I am here for it and I'm really ready for it.
Mhm.
All right, this is the question. The systemization, it is very important. But tell
Yes.
me, share with me, how did you looking at it from a technical point of view? How did you set it up for you in a way that it can work? Of course, I'm asking that for people that are probably hearing it for the first time, so that they can also learn and know what to do in their own business. Please help us.
Okay, so the first thing you want to put into consideration is to identify what you want to achieve. And that's where I see that so many people miss it. Um, for you to be able to figure out what automation tool, what kind of systems, will you want to implement, or what kind of automation tool you want to use for your business, you want to ask yourself, what exactly do I want to achieve? What's the goal? Why do I need this? Figure out what you need first, what you want to solve, what problem you want to solve in your business first. Itemize it. No, first of all, identify them, the problems you want to solve. Now, itemize them based on priority. At least that's what I do. Itemize them based on priority, and then you are able to see clearly what you need to do, right? Or rather, the problems you need to solve. Now, once you are able to see clearly the problems you want to solve, based on individual problems that need to be solved, there are AI tools, there are systems, there are all of these tech strategies that you can put in place to be able to help you smartly solve the problem. Now, I always like to say this: your systems, your softwares, your automation, all of these things are not meant to make you lazy. They're not meant to make us lazy. They are meant to ensure that we are giving our best. So it's only meant for us to sieve out what is going to literally waste our time and what is going to bring out the best version of us. So now we give to AI, software, automation, all of those, the things that we feel, what, take this, do this. Let me focus on my zone of genius. Let me focus on something that needs my personal touch, because that's what makes me stand out. That's what makes me shine out as a business owner. For example, AI, or rather, I wouldn't want, even if there's a robot that comes up and say, oh, you know what, TC, I can jump on this session with I can on your behalf jump on this session with you and Mr. Obehi, for example, and then you don't have to do anything. I'm like, no, no, thank you. I want to do my thing because this is me. It's my story. It's my life. Now, who better tell my story authentically aside from me? However, there are other moving pieces around me showing up today. Okay, because my business has to move, my client's work is still available. I need to do this, social media is there, blah blah blah, all of this, emails, all of that. As a business owner, every single day, as my personal activities those things would not have to stop, all because I have to jump on a session like this or an interview sessions like this, which is basically what I should be doing because there's so many people that need to hear what I have to say. Right now, imagine if you only listen to a robot. How would you feel? But you are happy, right? You're satisfied because you're listening to me speak, and it's not a version of me. Now, that's basically what your systems does. That's what your AI tool is meant to do for you. Ensure that it gives you room to bring out the best of you. It gives you room to help you shine. It's like makeup. I always, use makeup as an example, right? Some people would say, oh, you know what? I don't like to use makeup because I don't want to change my person. Now, people obviously will go extra. There's so many people that overdo things, right? Um, so many things that can, we can be extra. We are humans, so we can always be extra. However, makeup, okay, for both men and women are only meant, is basically meant to enhance. It's not meant to change our face. It's not meant to change how we look. It's meant to enhance, our God-given structured face. That's what makeup is meant for. So it's the same way with your systems. It's the same way with automation. Help you work smarter, help you work more so that you're able to give even better results and more results.
Thank you so much for that. All right. Now, you're also heavy on optimization. I think that is why we are even talking about systemization anyway. There is a lot of shun in it. All right. Now, I am imagining there is a business owner out there who yet do not understand this jargon, optimization. Could you please help an individual understand that? Like, what would you focus on when optimizing your business so that it can be effective for you?
Mm. What would you focus on when we're optimizing your business? Now, I think let's start with what does the word optimize mean? Um, Literally, when you say the word optimize, is to get the best out of something, right? Better, best, bring out the best version of, like when you say, oh, can you, for example, it says, can you optimize, oh, sorry, can you optimize, oh my gosh, okay. TC, can you optimize this particular email for me, for example? It means, can you help me better this email? Can you bring out the best version of this email so that this email can work even double or, better than I picture that it would work, right? And that's how I see optimization in every aspect of your business. Now, every time you say, I think it's time for me to optimize a certain area. Now, I use the word a certain area because every smart entrepreneur should understand that when it comes down to systems, optimization, tools, and all of that, you start with um, you start with segmenting them, right? You don't do everything at once. And that's why earlier I was saying something like you want to first figure out what the problems are, itemize them based on priority. Why? Because most times we run faster than our legs. And in doing that, we find out that we are automating chaos. So many people, for example, would say, oh, you know what? I want this, I want it to be faster, right? And they say, "Oh, can we make this process faster?" I get things like that, and that is relative because most times, if you're yet to look inwards and figure out what exactly that area is about, right? What we get to do is make error faster because when you want to automate, for example, we're talking about tech, we're talking about automation now. When you want to automate, for example, remember, right, with automating, you are optimizing, you're making things, more efficient. Make sure that you are not yet in that space where you are only making mistakes, failures faster. Because the same way that automation can skyrocket your business, automation can also bring your business down when done wrong. So first things first, you want to figure out, just follow the steps, right? And then once you do that, start with streamlining first. Streamlining would help you figure out what is available, what's not available, right? You're able to segregate, you're able to see clearly, okay, you know what, these are the leaky holes. This maybe I just need to do little touches. Okay, now you can see clearly. Once you streamline, you can breathe, you can see clearly. Your process becomes seamless. Now, once your process is clearer to navigate, then it's easier for you to automate, because then you're no longer going to be at the verge of risking, because it's probability now. You're no longer at the verge of automating error. You know that this particular area in my business needs to run smoothly. It needs to be optimized so that it can work faster, it can run smoothly with or without me. Then we're able to automate.
Thank you for that. All right. Now, tell me, in the age of the business, at what point do you define those things that help you determine how the business is running? Okay, now, what I mean is that, you need to have your KPI that help you understand whether what you are shooting for, you are getting it. Because if you don't even know how to measure the result that you are aiming at, you wouldn't know when you get the result. You will get the result, you will still be looking, you still be going. Then you get failure. You don't know whether it is failure because you don't even define what is your failure or what is your success. So I don't know if you could help me clarify that part. Like, at what stage in your business should you define your KPI that help you understand how your business is succeeding or failing?
Personally, I would say even before your business kicks off. Now, why I say this is because we have gotten to that stage, that we no longer await failure. Let's not wait for failure. Let's make sure that failure doesn't have a space to come in, right? Now, some people would say, oh, you know what, let me start the business first. It's you opening the road for failure to come in. No, you want to already set your KPIs. Your KPIs are your key performance indicators. Now, your key performance indicators are basically there to tell you, okay, this is what I should look out for if I'm dropping the ball. This is what I should look out for if it's making so much sense. This is what I should look out for if I need to scale, or this is what I should look out for if I need to hire, or I need to get help. Okay, this is that point where it is going to get to TC, and I would say, oh my gosh, SOS, I need help. Right? Because if we don't, it's the same way, when you have, it's like saying, at what stage in your business do you need a strategy? Or at what stage in your business do you need a plan? Way before you even say, I'm ready. Because that plan needs to be ready before you kick off. So you know your left and your right. How do you track and measure you wasting your time, for example, if you don't have things like your KPI? Because what this is telling me is that you can be on this for like 2 years, 3 years. You won't even realize that you'll be running at a loss. Why? Because you think that every day you're getting Stripe alert, $4, Stripe alert, $4. And they say, oh, people that are making money. Okay. And then all of a sudden, one day you just get, oh my gosh, 250 something British pounds. Yeah. You're happy, 200 and something. Hold on. Pause on that. You know why? Because you do not have you don't have a tracker, right? You don't have something that would help you figure out, am I running at a loss? Just because I get trickles in, how do you know if they're even trickles? How do you know, when we talk about KPIs, for example, tracking and measure all of these things, right? It goes way beyond even the money. It helps with your expectations management as well. So many of us, we see certain things. I was telling the clients the other day, I said, do you know why so many people literally have hypertension, all because they see somebody's social media post? Two reasons. One, they lack confidence. I know why they lack confidence. It's in short, it's one, it's two in one. One, they lack confidence. I know why they lack confidence, because they do not have a tracking measure. How do you even know? Why are you giving yourself high blood pressure? If you have a tracker, for example, you have your KPIs, you can go back and ask yourself, this will tell you clearly, am I making gain? Am I making loss? Am I wasting my time on this business? Am I not wasting my time? Am I doing the right things? Am I not doing the right things? And so you're not moving and operating on assumption. You're operating based on data. And so if anything flashy just passes you by, you don't get thrown away, you don't get swept off. Or because some flashy thing just sweep off your page, or just switch off the face and be like, oh my gosh, and then you go and cry for 1 week, forgetting that cry you're crying for 1 week, you're wasting time. People out there that needs the solution that you have, but you are there crying and just wasting time on irrelevant things. Why? Because you do not have proper scale to tell you, okay, you know what, I need to focus on this. All right, I think that where the money is right now, based on my KPI, is my email list. All I need to do is focus on my email list and then set up my social media post on automation. End of story.
All right. All right. End of story. People should get that.
But that's all I really.
Okay, now look at your business, TC. Like, you close your eyes, you are looking at your business. At what point did you set out your tracking to know the direction that you are going? At what point did it really become important for you? Now, this is why I'm asking the question, because for a lot of people, it is not clear where they're going. It becomes clear along the way. Of course, this is for me in particular, and this is for a lot of people, because you are just starting. It's not like I went to a business school as a person. Okay, I've been interviewing people forever. No, I've literally been doing this since secondary school age. The very interview I did actually was in the police station. I went to interview the DPO in my town, which is something I don't know where I even got that boldness to enter into the police station and say I want to interview the DPO, and it was successful, and that is where it started for me. So for many of us, we are not professional to start with. We didn't start as professional, but of course we start anyway. Then we get clarity along the way. So you personally, tell me, when did you got clarity in what you are doing?
Okay, so it was a different times. I'll be very sincere. It didn't really happen all at once. I think first I started to realize that I was wasting my time when I didn't have maybe any measuring skill like I'm talking about, right? But it dawned on me that I was wasting my time when, after, I was doing so much work, right? Was doing so much work, I was super busy. Like, that part where people come up and be like, I'm booked and busy. Oh my, I was booked and busy, but broke. That was it. And so I knew I was broke because there's something I wanted to buy. I think it was for the kids then. I think when the boys were like 6 months, thereabout, right? And I wanted to buy something. I can't remember what it was. And then I realized that I didn't have any money in my account. And this is me, my calendar was filled up. It was filled up because apparently I was working overtime on certain people's businesses without charging them. That part where as a service provider, you can get lost in, especially when you do not understand the value of your time. You forget that time is your greatest asset, is one of your greatest assets. And so I just realized that, oh my gosh, this also was happening. And so I didn't even have time to take up new clients, even work on my business, my personal business, because of all of these things that I had going on. and I was not even being paid for it, right? And it was frustrating because obviously I handle the back end of these people. And so I know how much they get every single month. And this is me. I literally, and I could be a very emotional person. And so I remember I wanted to get that thing. And, it just dawned on me I didn't have any money, literally. So I had to wait the end of the month for me to be able to, oh my gosh, like that was crazy for me. And I said, I'm supposed to be a business owner here. Like, this doesn't make sense. Why would I wait till the end of the month for me to buy this? Now, what if something happens, right? And, the pride in me, as I sometimes, it's always not, how would I put it? Sometimes it's not the evil pride in me. It gets me feeling very uneasy when I had to ask my husband for money, right? And so I just reluctantly, with all of the pride, when you don't want to ask somebody for something, but you're forced to. And so it makes it look as even when you ask of it, the person will be like, why is she asking me that way, And, and so I remember I went to him and I'm like, you need to get this for the kids. And he's like, okay, but are we quarreling? And I'm like, well, I just left. I was so upset, but obviously he's the only one that can take the brunt, especially when I'm upset. So when I'm
That's why.
upset,
That's why he's a husband, no?
like I'm sure that sometimes I want to pity him because sometimes he doesn't even know I'm angry with him because the truth is I'm not even angry with him. I might be so upset about something else, and then I go lashing out on him, and he's wondering, and he's asking, "What exactly did I do? Okay, tell me, what did I do?" I'll say sorry, and I'm like, I'm just there filming and filming and filming, and when I'm done filming, finish all of the drama, and then maybe after some time when I'm done, I go tell him sorry, and he's like, okay, can you just remind me again what exactly I did? And I'm like, you didn't do anything. So, that's the way it is. The other day he was telling me, he's like, would you ever change? Like, I'm just saying this part of you, like, is it going to change? I'm like, I don't know. You just need to find a way of absorbing it and getting used to it. And he just looked, and he looked at me and I'm like, well, that's it, but that aside, I think that was when I had to do something about my business. I had to do something about, my pricing, my offers, all of that. I had to be very intentional. But I don't wish this for anyone. You don't always need to be at a crossroad before you realize that you need to take action. Um, Another thing that happened, I think, that made me to go back to the back end of my business and find out what exactly I am doing was a client's business. I work so much in the back end of people's businesses, and I realized that this lady, she's so good. There's this month she made about, I think, 75, 750 British pounds. Like, it was good, right? We were good with the revenue and all of that. Now, we do like quarterly analysis and all of that. Can you believe that? I don't know how it happened. I don't know what she's doing. I don't Like, she literally just said to me, you know, Teecee, I need you. And I'm like, why? And, she said, in her words, she said, I don't know what is wrong. Something is eating up my money. And I said, something is eating up your money. How? And she said, Teecee, I don't know. That's the word she said. Something is eating up my money. I think you need to check it. Right? Because apparently, she said at the end of the month, I think it was going on with about uh, I think about 50 some. No, she actually was going home with about 30 something after. Now that's shocking because that's like more than half, right? And we looked at it. Apparently, she's been jumping into her business accounts for her personal needs, right? That was not all. After the analysis, that was first thing we found out. Secondly, we found out that there were so many repetitive payments going on. So many wrong, like it was so that there's some people that she kept uh on a payroll that even when they left, the payroll was still like it was still going on, and she didn't know. Obviously, those people didn't even say anything. I don't know
No
why they would,
way. That is cheating on their part.
And I remember that I reached out to about three of them. Two responded to me and was like, oh, they apologized. They didn't even notice that it was happening. They just thought maybe it was more like a bonus or something. I'm like, bonus for, I don't, bonus how? How was that supposed to be a bonus for what? And I smiled because that was you. I don't know. I was obviously, I know I shouldn't take it too personal, but I had to take that personal because I'm like, that's criminal. That's criminal. There's no space saying bonus, but at that stage, I had to say, what, see, just calm down before they ask you, is it your money? And then the other person apparently didn't even say anything, meaning they saw it, but no response till tomorrow, right? And then we now saw her subscription. She had Keep. Keep had been collecting 397 from her for almost 6 months, and she no longer used Keep anymore. Now she said that Keep Infusionsoft, right? And she said that she canceled the subscription, right? But for some reason, the subscription wasn't canceled and it was going out. So little things like that. And that was basically what was eating into her money. So at the end of the day, she made so much money. You could see how much went in. Now, this is we've not included her working that obviously expenses. So you're going to live off monthly normal expenses. You're going to plan for vacation. Because I always tell my clients, for every money that you have, even if you don't use it for vacation, you like take some percentage for, vacation, aka self-care, take yourself out and all of that. You have that, do yourself for, eventualities. Um, you build yourself for maybe like eventualities and all of that, right? So they're just like different expenses that personally I say they are priority expenses, like your self-care, take yourself out, all those kind of expenses. But when you bring up all of these expenses, you figure out that how much is left, right? Now, this is just an example of basically all of the things that ate into her revenue, and she came with nothing basically. So those are just the examples. And so when I saw this client of mine, I had to go back. I ran back. I remember I went back to my CRM. I'm like, let me see, just to show that I'm not trying to solve, when a doctor is trying to treat a patient and your household is literally dying one after the other because you don't have time to take care of them. I literally had to go back and be like, oh, hold on, let me check my space to be sure that we are safe. We can't keep treating other people and our household is crying for help. So that made me to go back. And so I had to then I remember I had to build a system around the children, around personal expenses for myself as well. So it's not like maybe every 6 months I'm going to go on a vacation, because no, even though I say I want to, my kids are still small, I can't afford to do that every single time. However, I always tell myself to bring out a percentage, like I'm doing that, right? And this is just what I give to myself. So yeah, I think those are like major times when I had to go back and be like, no.
All right. I wanted to spend a bit of time on the automation. Now you're
Okay.
looking at your business, you want to automate it. How do you know which area you need to automate in it? How do you define those key area? Because at the end of the day, now you're not going to automate everything. There are some things that you really want to do manually. Yeah, I don't know if you want to share something with me in that line.
Yeah, I would love to, because I know that big on tech, I'm very big on systems and automation and all of that. But I'm also big on telling the truth. So it's not like, well, some people say I'm a truth teller, but no, that's not what I mean. Um, the truth is you can the last person you should lie to is yourself. Like, you can lie to the world, but don't lie to yourself. All right. And just so we know, the best automation strategy is one that room for human touch, for human interference, right? Because it's the same way when you're building your workflow, your process, you're trying to streamline your process. You want to give room. So it's, you're breaking that robotic process and breaking it down, and then you are implementing some human touch in between. Why? Because we want to humanize and personalize the way we do business. Even with AI, that's what makes us entrepreneur. Now, people always, this that thing where, that time when ChatGPT was like on the wave and all of that, and then that period where ChatGPT was on a wave, and people were like, "Oh, is AI going to take away your business and blah blah blah? Maybe take away your job and all of that." And I had to remind as many people that I wanted to remind that AI is meant to, yes, fine. Some people can get lazy and get carried away. However, AI is the best version of what you give it. Personally, I feel like AI is as good as what we give it, right? We want to understand that whatever we give AI, that's basically what it's going to use. So we want to make sure that um, we are touch, we are first touch points, when it comes down to how we leverage automation. Now, with automation, we want to make sure that we have the right processes in order. We have the right, strategy for you to be able to get the best of your automation strategy. Like everybody can use AI, but why do you think not everyone is successful with it? Because the truth is, not everyone is able to give it what it needs. So once you're able to give it what your AI tool needs to do the work for you, then it will give you results. If you're not able to give it the right, literally what you put in is what you get. So if you put in maybe something crappy, you're going to get a crappy result. But if you put high touch, maybe questions, precise questions, or maybe precise work or tasks that you want AI to do for you, then you're able, all right, to get the best out of it. Because the truth is, AI cannot work in isolation. It needs human intelligence for it to work. Remember, humans were the ones that created AI in the first place.
That's a good news. That's a good news at last. Okay, now Teecee, now tell me, have you talked to maybe some of the people within your network, and you maybe are preaching to them that they need to systemize their business or their operations, their processes, and they keep defending the reason why they shouldn't do it? If that is the case, what do you hear that they tell you the reason why they are not doing it? Because if everybody is doing it, then we should all be celebrating.
No. As much, and that's why I keep talking about it, because so many people think that they need to, in quotes, arrive first. They need to have a successful business before they build a system around their business. But they forget that you need to build that system to arrive in your business. You don't you're not to you don't need to wait to have a successful business before you have your system or before you implement automation. No, you need that to be able to get there, right? It's not the other way around. And so I feel like, I get statements like, "Oh, I don't think it's time yet in my business." Like, it's time. You just need to figure out what systems you need right now. What automation do I need to put in place? There's so many things that business owners, even the ones that just started today, so many wrong things that they keep doing that can be very super affordable, like literally super free. and they put it on automation, save time, avoid unnecessary repetition, and get the best out of their hours. So imagine the example. Some people do not still know that if showing up is a critical part of your business, and it is something that you can just maybe somebody else can help you handle, right? You don't necessarily need to do it yourself. You don't necessarily need to maybe create the final version of your content and then publish it. So many people do not still know that that instead of wasting their time trying to figure out every single post or anything, they can actually create content, publish this, schedule this content, 90 days worth of content within, give or take, at least 3 days max or 5 days max, if you're still getting to figuring it out, right? Just focus on that. And then you're able to schedule 90 days of content. But for you to be able to do that, you want to figure out first. That's why I said, for you to be able to automate, you need an objective, you need a plan, right? Or a roadmap for you to be able to do it well. Why? So that you're able to track and measure, right, what you just automated. Is it working? Is it not working? Is it wrong? Did I make a mistake? All of those questions, you can go back and ask yourself those questions, right? So that's why. So once you have that, you can set it up. Like the social media, your marketing, all of those can be automated. You can put emails, okay, you are going to launch, for example, or you have a program coming up. You can put your content, your emails, and all of that. Schedule them, let it flow on automation. When people get in, if they send it to them, you don't literally need to be there. If you need to respond, you can have your phone and just wait for and just send them to obviously you're going to have a reply on your phone, and then you can just respond to the emails that personally needs your attention. Now, if they don't personally need your attention, you can still automate responses that will take care of whatever you set up. And it's super simple. You can live your life. But you know what it is. People will still say, "Oh no, I'm not able to do that. This is not time for my business yet." There is never a best time for anything than yesterday. Like literally.
Thank you for that. Now, looking at systemization of your business, is it possible that somebody can systemize a business wrongly and it will not be effective?
1,100%. It's very correct. Like I have seen that happen times without number. Especially when we think we are ready, but we're not ready. And so because we think we are ready, instead of working with data, we just assume. And so we just do things. Like everybody is using AI, everybody is using automation. But you don't have to do what everybody is doing. You don't have to automate what everybody is automating. Everybody is automating email campaigns, for example. There are different stages with email campaigns. This is an example. There are different stages with email campaigns. You don't need to start to automate you don't have to start to create, maybe 5-step, 10-step campaigns, plugging it into launch campaigns and all of those, big integrations and all of that yet. You can start with automating, like scheduling your awareness emails, the emails that you have to send out maybe 3 times in a week, for example. Now, you can start with that. So you are able to monitor, right, the behaviors of your audience. Now, people obviously do it wrong a lot of times. That's because, one, they do not work with a plan. They do not work with a strategy. For you to be able to automate right, you need a strategy. You need documented processes. Personally, I would say if you need to automate a certain workflow in your business, map out that workflow first. I still map out my workflows. And so I don't know why you won't map out yours. A reason why the next person would, like, if experts are there, mapping out this thing, it means that there's treasure in mapping out. I'll say this to my client because she worked with me for one of her launches, and so she just automatically, without asking, it was a very super amazing launch, was successful, and so because I told her that she can clone it, right? She can clone the launch. She decided to do a repeat of the launch without at least finding out for me what I mean by cloning the launch. And so she didn't even tell me. I didn't even know she was doing it because obviously when she made about, I think she made about 20 something thousand. And so obviously the whole excitement, oh, I can do this again, blah, blah, blah. I don't need Teecee. Teecee no more needed. Like, I didn't even know. I didn't even bother, right? And all I saw was a message, a WhatsApp message. And then she's like, Teecee, I'm doomed. I'm like, you're doomed. And I'm like looking at, because obviously the time zone is different. So it was like super late, around 1 a.m. my time, but that's about 8 p.m. her time. So it was still quite early for her. Maybe she forgot, obviously. And so I saw it, and the thing I saw on my side was, that's not the kind of message I like to see in the middle of the night. That's about 1 a.m. So I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. And so I called her at that time. I called her because I couldn't sleep. I called her and I'm like, what happened? And she's like, that thing I said that, she can just clone and blah, blah, blah. I said, yes, you can. And she's like, she did it. And then she's working on it. And so she decided to test it. I said, that's a good one. At least you learned something great to test. So what happened? She said, oh my gosh, Teecee, everything started. Like, I don't know where everything is going. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what it's saying. I don't know where anything is anymore. Did I do something wrong? Did anything happen? I'm like, hold on. I'm not sure what you did, but hold on. Send me your login details. Let me see what's in your CRM. And so I opened her CRM. And the very funny part was that the only reason why she said she was doomed was because she did not integrate. It was just a little turn off and on. that she did not do. And that was basically it. And I just looked at it because I was already like, there's this headache. And I remember after that time, my husband is like, I always used to tell you, turn off your phone. But I'm like, no, I was still awake. I was still working. So, I didn't think there was a need to turn off my phone. I really don't even like to turn off my phone because what if there's an emergency? But he was like, you need to turn off your work phone, because like the headache was, because I just saw my phone and it was boom on my head. I'm doomed. Like, what a kind of message. But it was just a switch on and off. That was it. And, I just did it from her space and I told her to try it again. And then, when you set up workflows like that, most times it's just a trigger and everything flows. And so I told her to plug in, plug in herself back, and let's see. And so she did. She's like, oh my gosh, it's working, Teecee. You're a magician. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
You need to do the writing.
I'm not. So yes, to answer your question, yes, and most times it's very little. If she wasn't a past client or haven't worked with me, the truth is, because I don't know what happened, I could actually charge her a huge sum, right? Just to fix it. And somebody that is, malicious might start to pinpoint what is not there and start to claim it's a mistake and, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know how this thing works. Start giving a very long form prescription. And it's not saying, oh, there's something wrong to something, and something manipulated and stumbled and cropped up, and don't worry, we can fix it. You just need to pay a blah, 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 1 billion something, and I'll fix it. And then people just make money off a simple mistake that can just be fixed in just how many seconds.
Yeah, you're right. Now, People are looking at you now. They have spoken to this point in the episode. They are sort of curious. They want to learn more about your business. What do you really do for businesses? Share with us.
So I help businesses. So I work with both businesses and individuals, right? So individuals that have skills and knowledge that they need to monetize. So I help them identify those marketable skills and get them turning those skills into profits. Now, I don't do this. How would I put it now? I don't do this. It's not magic. No, it's not magic. Now, what I do is leverage systems, streamline systems, leverage um, sales funnels, email marketing, all of those great stuff. I leverage all of these things to be able to help them monetize their skills, their knowledge, just so that they're able to be the best version of themselves, right? Living in the purpose that God has designed for them. Now, I also work with business organizations, corporate organizations, uh, as their fractional CMO, because then I get to create marketing campaigns. I create marketing campaigns, launch campaigns, products launching, all of those. And I also help with managing their sales and marketing team, right? So when you talk about, okay, you know what, I need to start to make online, I want to maybe start my business, I don't know how to start. I don't even know if my skills or my knowledge, I'm able to monetize it. I don't know where to begin. I help you get started. So I have tools, research. I have an audience well available. I have tools, resources. I have templates, plug and play templates, courses, digital products, uh, VIP day, coaching programs, training programs available, because I believe that not everybody, right, is at the same stage in their businesses or their lives. And so I have created my business in such a way that whatever stage you are in, there's always something for you. Even if you want to start small, there's always something for you to get started with.
Now, anyway, it will already share a bit of a screenshot of your website there. But anyway, it's never too much. Tell people how they can reach out to you if they want to do business with you.
Yeah, I always also recommend that people reach out to me either on LinkedIn, right? You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just search for Teecee Okore. I have the same thing across all channels, so you can't miss it. But just search for me on LinkedIn, Teecee Okore. You see my face, right, with a red background. You can always DM me, okay? DM me. Let's have a chat. I love the personalization, right? You can also send me an email. You can send me an email, info@teeceebusinesssolutions.com. You can find me on Instagram at TCOBM, same background, same face. Yeah, let's connect. Send me a DM on Instagram as well. Tell me where you are, what you need, and trust me, I always have the best solution for you. Now, just so you know as well, is that even if I can't provide you, because obviously I can't do everything, but even if I can't provide you with what you want, I pride myself, you know, as highly intentional with my intent, right? And because of that, I have partnered with so many amazing entrepreneurs. I have a couple of partnerships and collaborations. So even if you need, I know of an amazing expert that is also able to help you. So regardless, you will definitely get help just so you're able to scale your business.
Thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Now, what will be your final thought here, considering what we have discussed today about systemizing your work and leveraging also the power of automation, so you can get more free time for yourself to do more, not to get more free time to go and sleep, because we want you to do more because the market need more. Okay, that is important, of course, without sacrificing your life. Yeah. What would be your final thought in that line?
I love what you said. The market needs more. Humans need more. We always want something. We always have a need. We always need solutions because problems, I'm not saying bad problems. There are also good problems in quotes, right? And so there's always a want, there's always a solution that is needed. Okay. And so as creatives, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, that's where we come up. And so I would say that look at think about leveraging systems not for today but for tomorrow, because you are thinking sustainability. You want consistent income. You want that of income that can fund your lifestyle. You want to be able to tell yourself, you know what, I don't have to sacrifice what I love. I don't have to sacrifice, the people that love me for money. Okay. I don't have to sacrifice my peace of mind for money. Some people would say, I didn't have a choice. No, building a structure with well-designed systems and well-tailored automation strategies for your business gives you every opportunity to say no with your full chest. And no one, and I mean no one, is going to say, oh, why did she say no? Yeah, you can say no for as long as you want to say no. And you will still make your money, because the more you say no, the more opportunities. That's the power of systems and automation. The more opportunities keep coming, because then you qualify yourself for better candidates, for better clients, for better customers, because you're not just looking at now, you're building a legacy. You are living the dream. You are multiplying. When the Bible says, go and multiply. Sometimes some people will say it is go and multiply babies. No, go and multiply.
So that would just be having it like racks. Okay.
I had to stop that because my friend we're just making jest of ourselves. And so on Clubhouse yesterday, I said something about multiplying the gifts God has given to you. And so she said, Teecee, remember the place in the Bible where God said, go and multiply? And so what I'm thinking, we could go and multiply babies. And I'm like, no,
Calm down.
go and multiply your skills. Go and multiply the people, the amount of people you are impacting, the amount of people you're touching, because the skills you have, the business you have today, the knowledge you have has not been given to you to sit pretty, close it against yourself because you're afraid. No, you dare not keep the skill and the knowledge God has given to you. It is meant to be multiplied, okay? So that He keeps blessing you with leveraging systems and automations the right way. It would help you even scale and do what God has designed you to do.
Thank you so much for that. And that is highly valuable. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.